Hello everyone, my name is Mercy and welcome back to another video where today I want to talk about a movie that I just recently saw finally after hearing it for a little while actually. Not really hearing it. I should really say that like I've heard it more often now than I did when it actually I guess came out. Because when it came out, I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't hear anything about it, but my sister texted me that she watched it in, like, theaters or something, and I was like, I don't even know what that movie is. And she said, really? Because everyone's talking about it right now. I'm like, I have no idea. So, just the past Saturday here, I finally watched the movie, and I figured, why not make a little video since I talked about the back rooms, I might as well talk about Obsession, which I really liked this movie, and I think it is my favorite film this year, and probably one of my favorite horror movies I've seen. Because I'm not a huge fan of horror movies, you know. I've always been a huge or much bigger fan in terms of horror games because they scare me a lot more. And it's not like it really scared me that much either. I don't think any really does, but like literally no horror movie really scares me unless I'm a kid or something, right? But it is really, really, really out there in what they do because it's a very demonic like movie. And I guess I could just basically say, yeah, this is going to include spoilers without saying so. I mean, I've already basically said my review of, oh, I like this a lot. I don't rate movies, so there you go with that. But it's a very, it's a very, very interesting movie, and it goes obviously into the concept or the realm of magic, and doesn't go too far fetched into it. It's not like it's goofy or silly or anything like that. Maybe the concept and idea is, but it's one of those things where it takes a concept or a subject and makes it grounded. I don't think it needs much explanation to have in the sense where you break the thing and then you just make a wish, which is his wish was to go at or for the girl that he really really likes to fall in love with him and well love him more than anything else in the world or whatnot, right? Which obviously is ends up being quite demonic and quite horrifying actually, because clearly there's many instances in the movie in the film where she is just straight up like it does a lot of stuff clearly. And like she tapes the whole wall. She doesn't want him to leave ever. And I felt like there was an implication, and I'm not sure if I was right on this, but I know that there was a time where she had the knife, and I was worried that she was gonna cut him up, or like the idea was that she was gonna take skin with him if he wants to leave or something like that, where he just can't leave her. And no matter what he does, if he tries to get out from her, she just freaks out and screams and like has a tantrum about it and starts crying and sobbing and stuff. And it is such a unique, weird, but very creepy take on a movie, which I don't know anything about the director, by the way. I've heard that he's a YouTuber, so congratulations on him. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if the budget is correct of being under 1 million, but if that is true, that is insane. Because I know how they always get budgets wrong, like all the time whenever there's like, sourced in media, right? But that is insane if that is actually what happened. It's a very grotesque movie. It's very, very suspenseful, and I saw it right after I saw Disclosure Day, which I'm sorry, I really did not like Disclosure Day. I can't watch that. I'm never watching that again. But anyway, I was really happy because I just watched that, and I was like, oh, something that fits me, that I really like personally, and actually, felt extremely suspenseful. And I love the way it was, the camera, the color grading and everything like that. Again, it was just really, really well done. I think it was perfectly timed the way it had to be. I don't think it stretched on for too long, even though I think it was over 2 hours long, which I was a little bit worried about because I was like, I'm not worried about it necessarily, but you never really know. Sometimes they do that with stuff, but I was very satisfied and happy with it overall. And I thought it was perfectly timed and everything. I loved the ending. It was very, very depressing and everything. And I know I'm going all over the place. Welcome to my channel. Anyway, so the guy who is the main character of the film clearly really, really likes her. And I actually saw a couple comments before I saw the movie on YouTube. And I don't remember exactly what they were specifically, but I remember one of them, which most people agreed with in like the likes or whatever, which it's the internet. I don't care what anyone really thinks anyway. I have my own opinion, whatever, right? Everyone does, right? It's not going to change it, but I know like a lot. I've seen. I think the comment was around the fact that he did something, and I didn't watch the movie yet, so I don't even know what they were talking about at the time. But like, that it showed that he really did not care for her as a person, which I don't really understand or see that standpoint of where he didn't understand or he didn't like her even as like an individual or just like her in general, that he just wanted her body or whatnot, which I don't agree with at all. He obviously clearly really liked her, and he had his own issues, and there was instances where you can definitely say, yeah, either he's not in the right state of mind or he's just like, because clearly so much is going on. Or also, that was a jerkish thing, probably to say. Like, for example, which was a very, very creepy, scary scene, if you've seen the movie, where she is talking in her sleep, and she's, like, basically, talking as, the actual, oh, shoot, I forgot her name. But, the actual character, right? Not the demonic side, which I'm not saying it's a demonic, but you know what I mean, right? She's basically trapped in that body at that point, right? She can't control, but she's talking in her sleep, and I think his response was probably, more of like, I wouldn't say like meanish. I don't really know how to explain it, but I would assume that's what the comment was talking about, but I don't know. But like overall, like again, at the end of the movie, he does what he does, which I won't say because I don't know YouTube, but it's I don't know. I don't really, I just don't believe that at all. That he just didn't care. He definitely cared about her still. He just didn't know what to do with all of it. And I think he obviously had everything going on in his mind. And he does a lot of stupid decisions still in the film. Probably like, I would say right after, his cat died. I think it was right after his cat died. Where he was just like, oh, okay. I don't remember what the question or the answer was or to what or whatever it was. But he's like, okay, and then he starts doing stuff with her or whatever, to the next scene, right? So like, I mean, if someone kills your, I mean, if not someone kills your cat, but if someone brings your cat and makes a little, not a ritual, but like a ceremony out of the garbage or whatnot, right? That is already like that's not even a giant red flag. That is beyond a red flag, like I'm pretty sure that was right after, but I'm not sure because I discussed this with my sister. So I don't. It's been 2 days. I want to really rewatch the movie, and I will probably buy the film. And she did mention, you did mention like comparisons between this and the back rooms and stuff, and there's some kind of controversies, and I don't really care about that. I don't like compare. I mean, I like comparing films. Don't get me wrong, but like in terms of like just what came out, like, oh, which one's better? Like, I don't really care about that. I do think Obsession is way better than the Backrooms, but I really like the Backrooms, and the Backrooms is its own thing. So just let it be its own thing. I thought the Backrooms was very unique, but I definitely did prefer this one, and uh, I haven't seen many movies this year as I usually do, every year. So I can't really compare or rank, but I think this is my first favorite, and Obsession. I mean, sorry, and The Backrooms is probably my second favorite, but I'd have to really think about every single movie I've seen because I don't. It's already almost July at this point, so I have no idea, but I was really satisfied with the movie. The whole mood, the music, and everything. It was a horrific type movie, very suspenseful, very creepy, very. It's a movie that makes you think, and I like movies that make you think. Really like that a lot. I really like movies that you have to think about the movie after a while, and it's almost nightmare fuel in a way, and that's what I want. That's really what I want out of a horror movie. And God, yeah, she was crazy. The actors did amazing. I don't know any of the actors, thank God. Completely different. Not that it matters, but I like seeing that in a lot of things. Where it's like, I don't like. It's not that I don't like seeing the same actors over and over again. It's not necessarily that. I'm just happy. I think that's pretty cool. That it's not big name actors or whatnot, and it is a small project, but I'm so glad it's being successful because I think it's a fantastic movie, and I can't wait to see it again when I get it like on DVD or digital or whatever I'm able to get on when it's on sale. Obviously, I'm not going to get it at full price probably because, or maybe I will because maybe the movie deserves it. Honestly, whoever made the movie, good job, really really cool. So, with that being said, yeah, I don't know. I could probably get way more into it in like a review sense, Again, I don't know the director's background. I'm pretty sure it's his first movie outside of, making YouTube videos or shorts or whatnot. Again, I don't know who he is. But it's a very grotesque movie, very well made, and a fantastic story, honestly. I loved it from the start to the end, honestly. So, nothing bored me or anything. It was really exciting, and I want to get that out of a horror movie because I haven't felt that in a long time. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know the Backrooms was cool and all. I know there's probably I think the last one before that was Iron Lung, but like that wasn't really scary at all either. Backrooms was just really cool with the subliminalness. I think it was really well practiced or put onto the screen. Obsession was one of those things where it's like there's a mood there, there's tension, and it's very creepy and ominous. She's following him the whole film kind of in a way, or at least watching over to him, and that is a very creepy aspect. Someone obsessed with you, and I would say that it's not his fault really. I mean, you're gonna break something like that, and like I want this thing, you're just gonna say it. You're not gonna believe that that's actually real, clearly. So, either way, uh, cool movie. I'm really happy with it. And hopefully the next horror game I play in my other channel, if you haven't seen, it's Mercy's World TV. Check it out. I play horror games sometimes, and probably way more often, hopefully soon, but not as frequent, probably, unfortunately, because I'm in the process of planning stuff. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. This is my little review of Obsession. I'm sorry if you expected me to be a reviewer. I am not. Leave a hate comment. Do what you want. Leave a dislike. I don't care. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Mercy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.